Hello everyone, this is Tina from Tina's Workshop, and this is take 2. I recorded my whole video. I paused it once, and that was really my own thing, pausing it. I didn't have interruptions. Everything went smoothly. It had to be too good to be true. Microphone was not working. I go to edit, no sound for any of it. So now I am sitting here an hour and a half later recording again. So it is now 9:30 at night on Friday night, the 12th of September. It's 64 degrees now. It was 70 earlier. We were in the, I think, high 80s, low 90s today for our high. I'm not really sure, but it was, warm enough. And I have one finished object, which led into 3 new works in progress. And the finished object itself is new. So everything you are seeing this week is all brand new for you. So I was trying to work on some paperwork for Lambtown coming up that I had to get done, permitting and things like that. So government website, always a nightmare. And it was so frustrating. I was on this one website, I don't know, it was an hour, 2 hours, whatever it was. It may have been longer. I lost track. I was so frustrated by the time I got off. And I was like, oh my goodness. I did at least finish what I had to do, but I was not in the best of mood at that point. I just was like feeling really kind of down and everything. And I'm like, okay, I need some instant gratification and a little bit of emotional support. And hey, Annette from the Knitting Tree LA just came out with a new emotional support chicken pattern. It is the Emotional Support Chicken Junior. And it's really cute and it's tiny, so it goes quicker. So I'm like, yep, this is getting made now. I literally just bought the pattern that day. So I started working on it that night and I finished it the next morning. And I had some yarn I got last year in a grab bag at Pearls of Joy in Healdsburg. And it was green. So it was great. It was green, but I was kind of like, it had 3 big sections of color on it. And when I looked at it, it was just like these like 3 blocks of color in a sense. And I was like, oh. But I thought, okay, I want to use this for this. I started wrapping it up. And I was like, duh. As I started to wrap it up, those 3 big sections broke up into little sections. And I had this really great, like, marled green yarn. I mean, come on. I was like, okay, now I'm really liking this yarn a lot more. So this yarn is, see, of course, now it definitely got sound and everything because now I'm getting interrupted. Which that was my husband, and I will say he didn't know I had to re-record because he had just run to the store or drove to the store. He didn't run. That would be exhausting. Anyway, green yarn. It is, and I cannot say this word, Aracuania, hand dyed in Chile by Aracuania Yarns. And it is 80% wool, 10% camel, and 10% silk. So camel and silk, whew, nice. It doesn't say what kind of wool, and this is very soft. It feels lovely in my hands, but I do feel a little bit of prickliness if I put it up against my face like that. But it's not bad, but I don't think it's like a merino or something. It's got a little bit of something in there that's the camel and silk's probably really helping. Anyway, really pretty yarn, So I decided this would be the base of my chicken. And then I used a little bit of orange that I have in my bedroom that I'm using in that blanket for the beak. I had this red, which I do not remember what it was, that I used for the comb and stuff. And hold on, I have a kitten making noise. I had a package I opened in my first video so that I didn't make noise for you guys, and I dropped it on the floor, and now the kitten's done found it. Okay, then for its striping, I used this Jacob yarn I had from when I made that one cowl from Meridian Jacobs. So it's 100% Jacob worsted weight. And I love the feel of the Jacob. So that was what I used for my chicken. And then I stuffed it with some of that yellow fleece I've been using, but this is that one that I carded without doing the extra lock pop first, and it had all the vegetable matter in it, and I just didn't like this. So I thought, I'll use this as the stuffing. So I used this inside of it and added a little bit of lavender. You got to have that little bit of lavender, especially when you use all the wool. So that being said, here is my chicken. Now, he has a very long looking neck. So I will say she just updated the pattern already, and she's added about, I think, 5 rows in the head here, which will make the head come out a little bit more, and I think actually make that look better. But the other thing is if you look really close, you can see how that neck kind of, the browns stick out. And that's because I was thinking it was a little bit thinner, so I doubled it, and I shouldn't have. So it made it really thick there, and I think that also kind of made it look bigger. Get down. Training new kittens is not fun. Anyway, so I didn't like the way the long neck looked, so I decided to make a shawl. So I had this yarn that I used a while back, and I think it was 100% merino. My label is over that away with another skein of it. And it's a bulky weight yarn. I decided to make it a shawl. So I made it a little shawl. And it goes on like that. But then a couple days later, I'm looking at it, and I still have this, like, it just wasn't quite sitting right for me. And I'm like, wait, it could be a cowl. So I turned it around the other way. And now I think it actually fits the form of it much better. I think it looks very cute. So knit, crocheted, which, look, my crochet hook matches. So I had this and I crocheted it. I like mixing things up. So I crocheted a little shawl for it. I got my little bit of emotional support I needed. I got my instant gratification I needed. All in all, it was a win-win. I really enjoyed it. It's a super cute pattern. I definitely want to make more. I really enjoy making the emotional support chicken. I just think it's an enjoyable knit, and it has all the short rows and things like that, and I like doing it. If I sit down and work on one, usually 2 to 3 days, I'll have one done. I worked on this probably 2 or 3 hours the first night, and probably about the same the next day. So it is a quicker knit than the full one. It is constructed basically the same, just shorter, smaller, less cast on, less rows, really easy to, like this one, when you work that piece on the big one, I keep a counter to pay attention to what I'm doing because there's a lot, but this is short enough that you can really just keep count as you do it and you'll be fine. So really like how it came out. And it is like the perfect size if you want to lay down and cuddle with it. Fits right here just perfectly. So anyway, and it has, okay, so kind of Christmassy colors, right? But what my son noticed, he said, Mom, it makes me think of the Very Hungry Caterpillar. And I was like, okay, I totally see that, which is why I made this red, because I thought with the added red, now it really has that look of the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Christmassy colors, my thing. Green, my thing. Very Hungry Caterpillar, very cute. I like my little chicken. But this chicken, like I said, spurred what else I worked on this week. So as I was making this little itty bitty scarf, I was playing around with stitches and stuff as I was creating it. I'm frogging stuff and I'm going back. And then as I started to get this pattern in here, I was like, I really like this. This would be really neat in a big shawl. So I decided I needed to do a big shawl and create a new pattern. And I knew exactly what yarn I wanted to use. So in this cute little bag, this was an acquisition I got last week, like right after I filmed. It's actually a book bag and has this big pocket, and I loved the pattern on it. It's super cute. And I have all 3 of this week's projects in here right now. So we're going to start off with a yarn I got at Babette's Yarns about a year ago in Sacramento. It is called Shades of Fair Oaks by Babette. The color is Spring Oaks Along the River. And it is 10% nylon and 90% superwash merino in a fingering weight. And the yarn itself is what helped me pick the name for this new shawl pattern. And this is going to be the Oak Leaf Shawl. So here is my yarn. And if everything goes right, this will be a 1 skein shawl. You can do more, but it'll be one that you can do with 1 skein. And it's also going to be a super easy, beginner-friendly crochet shawl. And here is my first one. So you've got, it's all single crochets and chain stitches, nothing else. So very nice and beginner friendly. And the pattern that's on the edge, what's great about this pattern is it helps you find the end stitch really easily, because a lot of times that end stitch is so hard to find. So this helps you find that end stitch, and you do a lifted stitch instead of a chain 1, and that also helps you get this really nice straight edge. So you've got a little bit of a design, but the super nice, sleek, straight edge. And it's one of those mindless things. So it's vanilla crocheting. You can sit and work on it, and it'll be really nice and relaxing and mindless, and you can just go. So that is shawl number 1. But then I got thinking, wonder what would happen if I change the yarn weights, if I go to a solid color. So I pulled out yarn number 2, which is by Wonderland Yarns. It is Pigments of Imagination, their March Hare, which is a worsted weight 100% superwash merino, and the color is Tuglywood, number 25. And it's this really nice gray. It kind of looks a little bit brown. Looks a little brown there, but it's a nice gray. And it works up a little faster because it is worsted weight. So here is that one. And you can see you can see that you can see the patterning on the edge a little bit more with that solid yarn. Come on, focus. Focus. Why are you not focusing? There we go. It's got a really nice feel, and the stitching is just so nice and clean. But wait, there's more. I thought this would be a great one for an advent. And it just so happens I have an advent I've been trying to figure out what to do with. Another Wonderland Yarns. I did their advent this last year. So I have all these yarns from Wonderland Yarns, and I will put a picture up here. And this is the order that I'm going to work them in from the yellow going up. So I thought, okay, this will be awesome. And I started winding balls. I started with the last color. Come on, focus. Why are you not wanting to focus tonight? There we go. So I started with the last one. This is another fingering weight. I think it was 100% superwash merino. It might have been sock yarn with the nylon. I don't remember if they actually said, but I started winding the last one, and then I went, there's a lot to wind here and I want to crochet. So I went to the first two colors and wound them up, and I made sure to start the second color last night so that I would have at least the second color in it before I showed it to you guys. Again, I've just been super excited. Woo! I dropped things. So I'm on to the second one, which is blue. Started with the yellow, which was like a lot, seemed like a lot of yellow as I worked it. But what's cool is as you keep going and this keeps getting wider, each one of those colors is going to be a thinner stripe. So here is that one. So I started with the yellow and I just started the blue, and you can see the pattern on the edge there. So this one will keep changing color, so yellow, blue, and then it's going to go up through to the last one, which will be green, and that will be my advent one. So now I don't know how big this one will end up being. If it goes too big, if I get like halfway through and I think that it's going to be really big, then I might create a decrease so that I can do like a blanket pattern, but I'm not positive. We will see how that goes when I get to that point. Depending on how big I get, because I only have one skein of this, because you can obviously do more than one skein, but since I only have one skein, when I get to the end of this, if it's not big enough, then I'm going to work it into a cowl. So it's going to be a multifunctional pattern when I'm done. And like I said, I've been really excited. So I have 3 of them going at one time. So it's kind of like when you're working socks 2 at a time and you're going back and forth. I will pick up one and work a little bit, and then pick up the next one and work a little bit. So you can actually see these 2 are close in size. Obviously a lot more work in the yellow one because it's smaller yarn and hook, but they're almost the same size. So the current one that I'm working on, the smallest, the first one, the green. So I'm going to work on that one for a while until I get it closer to the size of these 2, and then I will pick up another one, or I might even keep going a little further with that one, then pick up the next one and keep adding. And I'm really enjoying it. It's a really enjoyable crochet, and I started working on it and I'm enjoying it so much, and I want to see how they're going to come out, that I haven't wanted to work on anything else. That's it. Just that. Literally, that's it. Except for working on the wood stuff that my husband keeps bringing in. So I've only been working on this really in the evening when we're down to, sitting there watching TV, or like I'm in a doctor's appointment or something like that. But otherwise, I've been having to work on woodworking stuff. So I told you guys about that last week, that he does the actual carving and all that kind of stuff, but then he brings it into me and I do the fine tuning. Guys have those thick callous fingers. They don't feel all the rough spots. So I will sand down those little rough spots, make sure that there's no sharp edges on the drop spindles. I have to put the hole in it and put the hook, and I put the little notch in it. And so he keeps bringing different ones into me. A couple days ago, I finished off, I think, about 12 drop spindles. So they're all done. They're set aside. Then I just finished these support spindles so these are all totally finished. All the fine tuning's been done. They've been fully sanded. I buffed them again. I oiled them and everything. And because, that perfect video that I did earlier with no sound that didn't get interrupted, I have a dog that needs to go to the bathroom. So hold on a second. All right. So those are done. They just need to be measured and weighed and their tags made for them. And then I have these ones. So these are all drop spindles, and I've gotten the fine tuning I've gotten done. So I sand down those ends, make sure they're smooth. I make sure this end is smooth. I still need to drill the holes in here. I need to do the notches, and then I still need to do a final buff and oil on all these. Then after I recorded the good video, my husband came in with 4 more support spindles. So these ones need to have their fine tuning and all that stuff done. So I've been spending a lot of time during the day when I have that extra time working on that stuff. I was just getting eyeballed by a kitten. I was like, where are you gonna go? So I've been trying to get that stuff done before I go and sit down and do other things. So what else can I say there? So husband stuff, he's been doing a lot of working on that. Would you like to come tell everybody you're sorry for being a pest and interrupting so much? You want to tell people that? You're purring. He is a little motorboat. Purrs like crazy. But he's getting into everything, aren't you? Yeah, you're like your daddy. Okay. I apologize. And I hope you're still here. And if you are still here, thank you so much. And please click like, click subscribe, leave me a comment, click notify, because y'all know the algorithm does not like me. Share my videos with people you think might enjoy my videos. I really wish that other one had not had the sound mess up, because it just went so well. They were sleeping. They weren't even out here at that point. Okay, on to acquisitions. I do have a few acquisitions. So you guys might remember me talking about the store we have here called Falling Prices. It's one of those Amazon stores where they get the product, like the Amazon products, and then they sell them different prices throughout the week. And so my favorite day to go is Friday, which is Dollar Day. Occasionally I go on $2 Day or on 35-cent day, but I like Dollar Day because you still got some of the better stuff. and it's a really good price. I especially love when you go in there and you find something that majority of people are going to have no idea what it is, but you look at it and you go, I know exactly what that is. So last week I went, after I recorded, that's what I went and did before I edited, and I dropped. I tipped this the other day. I tipped my chair. I've done it before. It's really, I don't know why, but it's a really easy chair to tip, but I didn't even lean that much in it. I tipped it and I got stuck underneath it. No joke, I was stuck under the chair. So you see the big wheel behind me right there? That's a great wheel. And the table part for the great wheel is usually right behind me with all the books on it. And I packed up the books because we're moving, right? But the table part was still back there. It tipped when the chair tipped, and it pinned the chair so I couldn't lift the chair. It's dark. I came over here. I don't even remember what I came over. Oh, I think that was when I was grabbing the Advent yarns. So I'm sitting on the floor. I've got one leg under my desk and one leg out, and I'm stuck under this chair and I can't lift the chair. And I can't like wiggle my way out of it because of my one leg going under that way. Oh, it was bad. It was funny. I'm kind of hollering. My husband and my sister-in-law both come to help me. So living room is that way. My bedroom is this way. And my sister-in-law comes, and like I said, I had the lights off. I knew what I was coming for. I didn't really need the lights on. She walks right past and goes in the bedroom. My husband goes, where are you going? Well, I'm going to help Tina. He's like, you've walked right past her. And I'm watching her walk past, like, where is she going? So my husband comes over and he has to help get me out, get the chair lifted up so I can get out. And I actually get out and the chair's still tipped over because everything's tipped over on top of it. And I told my son later, I said, you're going to have to help me tomorrow pick all this up. Well, he's wonderful. He came over and he straightened things up for me. But it was kind of comical because I couldn't get out, and then she didn't even know I was. So she just walked right past me. Anyway, all that because I dropped something. Okay, so I got this bag last week. You can, if you don't know, you can scan the barcodes on stuff through the Amazon app, and you can pull up what an item is. So especially if it's a closed box and you can't see what's in it. The only problem is where our store's at, the service is really bad and I usually can't get it to scan. But I looked this up afterwards. It was a $7 bag. I got it for $1 and I think it's super cute. Like I said, it's a book bag, but great project. I better close it though because somebody might get into it. Yeah. And then last week, I also found this punch needle embroidery kit. Everything's in it. Online on Amazon, it's $16 and I got it for $1. The tools in it are worth it for $1. And I thought, okay, for $1, this would be fun to do. I've done the rug tufting. It's the same thing. This is just a little bit smaller. So I got that. Then I picked this up. So I have not done cross stitch in probably about 28 years. I used to like to do the counted cross stitch, but I just kind of got out of it. And I saw this kit and I thought it was really pretty. And I'm like, it might be kind of fun to do some cross stitch. I looked it up when I got home. It's a $40 kit and everything's in it. And it was $1. I couldn't beat that. So that was my $3 craft haul. Yes, I got other stuff, but craft wise, that's what I had spent. So today we went again. And I guess that was my like reward after getting shots in my back. I had to get three injection sites in my lower back. But of course, they do your numbing shot, then they put like the little IV type catheter in, and then they put the stuff in. And so you're going through multiple. And my doctor always says, "Are you doing okay? Are you doing okay?" I said, "No, I'm not doing okay. You have a needle in my back." Anyway, saw this, thought it was kind of neat. Oh, Hello Kitty. It's a desk mat thing. Come on. You just don't want to focus tonight. What is with us? Not wanting to phone. Desk pad. So, but it's like a felt. I thought it was really kind of nice. It's this nice felt, and then it has the little rubber nubbies on the back. So there's some times when that would just be really nice to work on, and I figured for $1, you know, why not? And then I got another bag. This one actually has a handle. My other one doesn't have a handle. This one has a handle, but it's another one of those book bags with the pocket, but it had the little pumpkins on it. Thought it'd be a nice fall one. And before long, I'm going to have to separate those shawls because they're not going to all fit in the same bag. And then my husband found this 4 skeins of yarn. I don't know the yardage, but they're 100-gram skeins. Polyester, of course. They're that kind of velvety, which I've never been a big fan of because I did a project years ago when this kind of yarn first came out, and I'd done something for my mom, and the yarn kept popping and breaking in the project afterwards. And so that always made me leery. But nowadays, I guess, you know, they've been doing it a lot longer, so hopefully it doesn't break because, hello, my color, that pretty green. And there's 4, so I paid $1 and I got all 4 for $1. So 25 cents for each one of these. 100 grams. I can find something to do with it. Maybe even use it with some of that glow-in-the-dark white I found. But then, the piece de resistance, the find of the day. 2 of these. Oop, that one's upside down. No, wait, did I do that right? There we go. 2 of them. They are the little wristlet yarn holders. Sorry, ignore my nails. They look horrible. They need done. I looked these up during the last video, and $22. They're $22 each. And I've looked at them before. I've even thought about making them on my laser cutter and stuff, and hadn't done it. And I saw those there, and I was like, yep, that's mine. So I'll have one. My sister-in-law will have one. And let's see, I think this is the one I opened earlier. So it has all the little pieces in it. Is that the side I opened? Yeah. You're not helping anything. You know that, right? Complete opposite of my cat. My cat, it completely ignores me. Ignores my yarn, ignores my wool, likes to ignore me, doesn't usually want to sit in my lap unless it's the middle of the night. This one. Whoop! You're falling. So it has your base plate, which they are blue. My other son peeled it off for me during the last recording so I could see the color because my nails were not working. So it's still got the backside to peel off, but it's the blue. Has a little screwdriver. And you made me close it. And you got the acrylic rod, which is all sealed in plastic, but it goes into the center. And then it has in here, there's the wristlet that goes here, and then there's a little pin that goes down here. And then your yarn cake goes on here, and you can walk around with your yarn and work on it, and it's supposed to kind of unspin as you're working. So nifty, and we got to pay $1. So need to put that together, but that was definitely the find of the day. That was awesome. Okay, I think I've gotten through this again. I think this might have been longer. And again, I apologize. It's so frustrating when things go wrong. And that whole video, no sound. And it was just, it flowed. It really flowed. And I even showed off, I don't even remember why. I showed off my, pumpkin shirt and my really cool pants that I now can't because there's a cat in my lap. I found these pants, sweatpants at Walmart. They had Winnie the Pooh ones. These ones are Snoopy, like It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown type of thing. Let's see if I can get him to move enough that I can show you. They're super cute. I got the peanuts around on the legs. Isn't that cute? Walmart. Occasionally you find something great there. Anyway, okay, if you guys have stuck around this long, leave me a pumpkin for my pumpkin shirt in the comments. Let me know you stuck around and actually listen to me babble this long. If you have, I really appreciate it. Thank you for spending a little bit of your weekend with me. Hope you all have an amazing weekend, amazing next week. Make sure and click like and subscribe, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye.